right, let's go back to mortality credits. If you remember, I said the key to a lifetime income annuity is it's all about the mortality credits. And you remember those payout rates for a 65-year-old were just under 7% a year, and a 75-year-old they're just under 9% a year, and an 85-year-old they're under 13% a year. And I said every check you get is composed of three parts: principal, interest, and mortality credits. And that mortality credits are really the secret sauce of guaranteed lifetime income. And if you have a portfolio in retirement that doesn't have mortality credits, math and science will prove it suboptimal, less than what it could or what it should be. So now the question is, okay, what the heck are these mortality credits? Okay, I got a simple story. Every year, there were 5 90-year-old ladies who went on vacation. One year, one of the ladies said, hey, let's each put $100 in this box. We'll tape up the box, and next year when we go on vacation, we'll bring the box with us, and those of us who are still alive, we'll open the box and we'll split the money. They said, Helen, that's a great idea. So you got 5 90-year-old ladies, they each put $100 in the box. They tape up the box. So what do you think happens the next year? They forgot where they put the box. No, I just made that one up. No, what happened was one of the ladies died. So now 4 ladies open up the box, and there's $500. They each get $125. Now that was a 25% return in 12 months. How much of that money was invested in the stock market? 0. What interest rate did it earn in that taped up, dusty old box? 0. How they get paid 25% with no money in the market or no interest rate is because they got paid mortality credits. So a lady looks at this, she looks at her brokerage account, she said, hey, this is a pretty good deal. I think we ought to put it back in the box and do it again. So they decided to let it ride. The next year, one more lady died. So now 3 ladies split the $500. They each get $167. Now that's a 67% return in 2 years. No money in the market, no interest rate. Why? Because they got paid mortality credits. So now the lady says, wow, you know, I'm going to go down to my broker. I'm going to get my money out of my brokerage account, and I'm going to go buy a lifetime income annuity. Well, here's the deal. A lot of people say, yeah, but Tom, I don't want my money to disappear. I want my money to go to my kids or my grandkids. Here's my question. If you buy a lifetime income annuity, do you have to buy the one that you check the box life only where the money disappears when you die? No. Less than 8% of all the people pick life only where the money disappears. 92% of all people want a guarantee. They want joint life or joint life with 20 years certain. See, all lifetime income annuities pay mortality credits. The older you are and the longer you live and the fewer guarantees you put on that contract, the more mortality credits you get paid. If you think about it, every check you get from a lifetime income annuity is composed of the 3 parts. Principal, that's the orange box. Interest, that's the gray box. Anybody can do that. But what can't the broker or anybody else do? It's the mortality credits. Only a life insurance company can manufacture mortality credits. And I got to spend a little time here. This is one of the most important points that you understand about lifetime income. Okay, all of you right now already own mortality credits. You know how I know? Because you own life insurance. And what I want you to know is that life insurance uses the exact same mortality credits as lifetime income. See, you experience the power of mortality credits with life insurance when you're young through low premiums. For example, a 20-year-old can write a check to an insurance company for $25. If later that afternoon they step in front of a bus, the insurance company delivers $1 million death claim. Now, how can the insurance company afford to pay $1 million if they only got one check for $25? It's because they know not many 20-year-olds are going to step in front of the bus. But it's those exact same mortality credits that can guarantee a 90-year-old man almost 20% a year for the rest of his life. See, the risk when you sell a life insurance policy to the life insurance company is that somebody dies too soon. The risk when you sell a lifetime income annuity is that somebody lives too long. Because the insurance companies on both sides of that risk, they can neutralize longevity risk to themselves and to the client. Let me explain it another way. Last year I was in Singapore. All right, I spoke for the $1 Million Roundtable in front of 7,000 people. They translated me simultaneously into 35 different languages. The day before I spoke, I got interviewed by Asia Insurance Review. And Asia Insurance Review said, Tom, we've reviewed all your material, and we're very concerned about U.S. life insurance companies that sell guaranteed lifetime income. I said, really? They said, yes, we believe medical technology is developing so rapidly that people are going to live to be 100, 120, 150 years of age. And if you're guaranteeing paychecks for life, you're all going to go broke. And I just smiled and I said, you know what? You're half right. You're right. We will be paying a lot of lifetime income, but guess what? We won't be paying any death claims. Because the life insurance industry is on both sides of that risk, they can neutralize longevity risk to themselves and to the client. Let me explain another way. What if there was an epidemic that wiped out a whole bunch of people? Well, in that case, the insurance companies would be paying a lot of death claims, but they wouldn't be paying lifetime income. You see, because they're on both sides of that risk, they can neutralize longevity risk. Now, here's the deal. If I had to summarize my book, I would summarize it this way. There are a lot of risks in retirement. There's market risk. There's order of return risk. There's withdrawal rate risk. You might need long-term care. You might die. But there's only one number one risk in retirement. The number one risk in retirement is longevity risk. And here's why. Because longevity is not just a risk. It's a risk multiplier of all the other risks. Now, what am I talking about? I think we discussed this on another clip. But if you're 65 and you retire, and 3 years later you drop dead when you're 68, does it matter if the market went down 3,000 points? Nope, doesn't matter. Does it matter if you were drawing 10% a year from your portfolio? Nope. Does it matter if you forgot to buy a long-term care policy? Nope, it doesn't matter. You didn't live long enough. But if you live to be 85, 90, or 95, it's all those other risks that can wipe you out. So what math and science says is you've got to take longevity risk off the table. There's only a few things that can do it. A lifetime income annuity, a deferred lifetime income annuity, or an income benefit rider on one of these, or withdrawal benefit rider on one of these variable or fixed annuities. But they all have the word annuity in them. Why? Because only an annuity can be written by a life insurance company. Why? Because only a life insurance company can write the life insurance to be on the other side of that mortality risk. See, stocks don't know when you're going to die. Bonds don't know when you're going to die. Managed money doesn't know when you're going to die. But a lifetime income annuity pays you a guaranteed paycheck for the rest of your life till the day that you die. Only an insurance company can take longevity risk off the table, and that's the reason it has everything to do with mortality credits.